There's a stretch of Route 41 in northern Indiana that locals avoid after dark. The road cuts through cornfields and marshland. No houses for miles. No lights except the stars. In the middle of nowhere sits an old gas station. Paint peeling, sign rusted, a flickering red open light that seems more like a warning than an invitation. People call it Holloway Station, though no one remembers a Holloway. I stopped there once, back in 2003, and I'll never forget it. I was driving home from Chicago after visiting my sister. It was late, around 2 a.m., and my gas gauge hovered on empty. The only light on that black ribbon of road was the neon glow of the station. I pulled in, gravel crunching under my tires. Two ancient pumps leaned like crooked teeth. The glass storefront was dark, except for that flickering sign. I stepped out, the night air damp and heavy. Crickets were silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. A man appeared at the door. Tall, thin, wearing an oil-stained jumpsuit. His face was partly shadowed, but his eyes caught the glow like mirrors. He didn't smile. He just lifted a hand, almost stiffly, and pointed toward pump 2. "Filling up?" he asked, voice flat, like it hadn't been used in years. "Yeah," I muttered, forcing a chuckle. "Running on fumes." He nodded once and disappeared back inside. I swiped my card, but the pump refused to start. I jiggled the handle, pressed the buttons. Nothing. Then I heard it. Soft tapping, like fingernails against glass. I looked up. The man stood inside, face pressed to the window, eyes locked on me. His lips moved, but I couldn't hear words. Just that steady tap, tap, tap. My stomach knotted. I considered leaving, but I needed gas, and the nearest town was another 20 miles. The pump clicked suddenly, and gas began to flow. Relieved, I gripped the nozzle tighter, watching the numbers crawl. That's when I noticed the reflection in the glass door behind me. Someone else was standing in the store. A woman. Hair hanging wet around her face, skin pale as chalk. She stood just over the man's shoulder, unmoving, staring straight at me. But when I turned, she wasn't there. The pump clattered, full. I shoved the nozzle back and got into my car as fast as I could. My hand shook so badly, I nearly dropped the keys. The man reappeared at the door, lips still moving. I couldn't hear him, but it looked like he was mouthing, "Don't stop." That was all I needed. I slammed the car into gear and tore down Route 41 like the devil was on my tail. In my rearview mirror, the station shrank into darkness, except for one final flicker of that red sign. I told myself it was exhaustion, my mind playing tricks, until a month later, when I stopped by a diner outside Gary. An old waitress poured my coffee, noticed my shaken expression, and asked if I was all right. I laughed it off, then mentioned the station on 41. Her face drained of color. "You didn't stop there, did you?" she whispered. I hesitated, then nodded. She set down the pot, hands trembling. That station burned down in 1978. Man and his wife died inside. Folks still see it, sometimes. They say if you stop for gas, you're lucky if all you see is the husband. But if you see the wife... She trailed off, glancing toward the window, like someone might be listening. "What happens if you see her?" I asked. She swallowed hard. You don't make it home. I left the diner without finishing my coffee. I drove home in daylight, but I couldn't shake the chill. That night, I woke to the sound of tapping at my bedroom window. 3 slow taps, like fingernails on glass. I didn't open the curtains. I didn't dare. It's been years, but sometimes when I drive late at night, I swear I see that faint red glow flickering in the distance. And when I do, I keep driving, because whatever is out there on Route 41, it isn't selling gas.